Well, good afternoon. It's Tuesday and a wonderful day to drink bourbon. And today we're going to be reliving the Mattingly experience. Hello everyone, my name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And
we are Your Bourbon Journey. Welcome to episode 55 of Bourbon Trail Tales and Tastes. Today we are at J. Mattingly in Frankfort, Kentucky. It is February 24th of 2024. We've had a very busy several days, and this is the final day we'll be in the area. This is Distillery number 58 for us, even though at that time they were not actively distilling, I don't think, but they had a still, were preparing to still, and so we were just excited to go on there and do the master blending experience. And our guide for the day, his name is Dakota. And I don't know if he's still there or not, but he did a great job for us.
He did. He was fantastic. Very thorough.
So we went down in the basement, so to speak, right? Down in the cellar we went. That's where they had all the barrels. Probably keeps them nice and cool. There are numerous stations so that several people could be doing these experiences at the same time. When we first got down there, we were the only ones there. Later, another group came in and they were at another station. But each station has 7 barrels. And then he said you can have up to 7 Whiskey Thief tastes from the barrel, but you're going to have to make a decision on what you're going to do for your blending experience. So he recommended that really focus on 4 that sounded most interesting to you. So he was sharing the mash bills, the proofs, the age. We were each picking what we thought we wanted to taste to start with, knowing we'd still have some options for blending. So what else do you recall about that process?
I just recall when we were doing the tasting, it was the very first one I tried, I didn't like. I started making 50-50 cuts, blending, and that didn't work. And by the last one, I went back to my very first pour that I didn't like. And I thought, you know what, there was one component in it that I liked, and I can't remember what it was at that point.
I think it might have been the finish or some barrel note it had.
It was something, one note, I remember that. So I went with a 50-30-20, and the 20 was the last part, and that made it work for me. I really liked it, and that's what I bought.
Yeah, that was similar for me, and we were going on Dakota's guidance. He said that for people that are just dabbling in it at an experience, he said 50-30-20 is pretty good. We've done some other percentages at other distilleries now that we've done this a few more times, but this was pretty new for us then. I had really locked in on a couple of things I really loved, and those are going to be my 50-30. But my final selection for the 20% was something I really didn't like at all. But after I played with it, I went with it because it was almost oily. It was very viscous, and so that 20% gave the entire piece a lot more viscosity, and I love a good mouthfeel. I was excited about that. Then after you finish it, you have your decision made, and we had these like clipboards the whole time where we knew which barrels we were doing. We could take tasting notes on them and thumbs up, thumbs down kind of stuff. And once we were set, then he had our final formula, so to speak, and then he had the big test tubes, which are basically where you're filling 750 milliliters into the test tube based on 50% of this, 30% of that, and 20% of the other things. So then we go over and we have to name our bottles, and you named your bottle.
It was St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day 2024, which would have been just a month later, and it was going to be our 4th wedding anniversary. I stayed in the same theme and named mine Luck of the Irish. We don't have the final blend of what these are. We don't know the mash bills or anything else. We just know that Wayne did this one and I did this one. We've not opened this one till today, and they're both 116 proof. So that's all we know about them. Did we open this on our anniversary?
Yes, I believe it was that year, and I think we tried it last year on our anniversary. That's the reason why it's gotten the hits. And that's when we realized today we had not even opened the other one.
Yeah, so we decided we wanted to taste them both today to compare, because we've never had that opportunity to see what one blend was like versus another. We think there'll probably be somewhat similar, but I know we picked different barrels. Let's start with the first one, which is St. Patrick's Day blend. And we were married on St. Patrick's Day, so that's the whole reason for all that stuff. It's got a very nice nose, a little nuttiness to it.
I mean, a little floral. I get more floral than anything, which is funny because that's not a component normally I would go with.
The first pass was nuttiness, but
I am getting nuttiness now. I was moving around a little bit, all of a sudden it popped something.
As I was doing this, I was starting to get some of those floral notes you were talking about. I'm not getting a lot of sweet notes.
Nah, it's definitely now nutty. That floral part is gone, and it's nutty. Well, should we try it?
Yes.
So, cheers to St. Patrick's Day, Mattingly. Cheers.
Cheers. I guess really it's St. Patrick's Day McBrayer since you blended it.
True.
Well, that's got some pop, but I did not do a warm-up pour today. And it is 116.
I warmed up with Rebel Yell. I said more. And this is a really good mouthfeel.
Yeah.
There is definitely a sweetness, confectionery sugar. I've been on a roll with that recently, but it tastes like powdered sugar type.
It tastes a little more caramel to me, but it's not like a dark caramel. It's like a bright, like Brock's caramel, the little squares. Not like a really dark caramel you'd be cooking with or baking with. It's really nice. I like your blend. Good job.
Now it's got a little heat in the back.
We had the age on the barrels when we were doing it. I think I had my sheet there and I left it there after we were bottling. And I have a little picture of one of them, but it didn't have my final notes on it. So we're not sure of the age. We're pretty certain that my recollection was that these were MGP barrels. That's why it's straight bourbon whiskey. So they were all at least 4 years old. I think it's pretty tasty.
Not bad at all. You did a pretty good job. You know, if there's any distillery out there looking for a blender like Royce, you know, if Rebecca decides to leave you and you need somebody in a pinch, you know, I'll come on in. I'm not as good looking as her, but it might get us by for at least 10 minutes.
Let's go on to the Luck of the Irish one, which is my blend because we've never tasted it. We did pour it about an hour ago to give it a chance to wake up a little bit. So let's check it out.
This will be interesting.
That is definitely different. This leans more caramel.
Yeah.
A lot more caramel. I'm almost getting a little bit of chocolate on the nose. It's hinting to go there. No nuttiness whatsoever on this one.
Definitely caramel. Definitely caramel. I'm not getting the chocolate part, though.
And a light baking spice that's kind of a nutmeg.
Okay, well, Royce, you know, if you're looking for a blender, forget it. You know, you'd have to hire her instead of me. So
It's been 2 years since we've smelled or tasted this.
yeah.
And actually, that was just samples in a little glass, so we've never tasted it after
Yeah.
after it's sat and was married together now for 2
Yeah.
years.
'Cause,
It's it's about 2 years old.
Yeah, the true representation, this is the first time we tried. Not bad. We might as well go ahead and drink it. So why don't you cheers this one?
Cheers to the Luck of the Irish.
Cheers.
And that does have a good mouthfeel. I'm getting that piece that I put in for the viscosity.
I'm getting a lot of cinnamon in the back. It's got some pop.
It's drinking like a pretty traditional bourbon to me. And probably 2 years ago, I was really seeking a very traditional bourbon experience. I'm a little more experimental now. But then I probably was thinking I want something with caramel, some nice sweetness with that. It does have some nice barrel notes in the back. I am getting a little bit of cocoa back there, but it definitely has the cinnamon notes more so than the first one did.
I'm getting more primarily cinnamon in it. Also, I think there's either dark chocolate or coffee. There's something dark in there.
For me, it's dark cocoa, like the cocoa powder you would bake with. No sweetness to it. I like it a lot. Do you have a preference between the two of them? I'm going to do this.
Honestly, between the two, I like mine, but part of the problem is we just opened this, and this has been opened, but there's aspects of this that I really like, and my gut is, as this opens up, I might even like this a little bit better because, like you said, there is a dark cocoa in there, and there's a cinnamon, and it has a longer burn than mine did, and also my wife is always right anyhow, so of course her bottle's going to be better than mine.
For me, I feel like they're just really different, which is really interesting. We were working off the same 7 barrels. So from a process perspective, think about that. The same 7 barrels. I think we had some common selections. Not all of our selections were the same. nor if I picked barrel seed and I may have used it for 50%, you may have used it for 30%. So we had some commonalities. I know we each had something that the other one did not have. I think your last 20% was different than my last 20%.
Yes.
So I love that you can take 7 barrels and do something completely different with it. I think that's kind of cool. And that's why this experience is really good and why I would recommend this, highly recommend it. But this has got these bright, light floral notes, which I'm digging. This is more dark caramel, more traditional quintessential bourbon. So they're both a win. They're a win-win in my mind.
Well, the great thing about it is it would have sucked if we'd have ended up opening this bottle and it would have ended up tasting like the one that we had opened. So that would have been a real bummer. Now, one other thing that happened is we got done bottling and we got to pick the type of wax that we went with. We went upstairs and they had a nice little gift shop up top. My wife was looking for a pin for her hat. And there was this lady at the register that you talked to, and you'd mentioned this. And she took down my wife's name and information and said that when we get them in, then I will contact you.
They just ordered them. They didn't know when they were going to be in. It was a new thing for them because several people had asked for them. And it was probably 6 months later.
Yes.
I get this email and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's her. Yeah, okay. And she said, give me your address. And I did. And she said, what color do you? I think they had them in like several colors. She had sent me every color. So,
yeah.
And it was just so sweet. This A, she remembered, and B, just to do that, it received a pretty prominent place in my hat right away.
Yes.
Because I was very impressed.
Yes. And what you said, they remembered. We've been to other places that hadn't happened. And this lady, I'll tell you, if I see her again and I'll recognize her, I'm going to go up and give her a big hug and thank her because it was really cool. And it's these little things that happen with connections at distilleries that make the event a little more important at times. And she went above and beyond. And
make it more memorable.
Yeah. So it made it for a great day.
And I want to say one other thing too.
Sure.
If you've not been here, I bet you know where it is if you've been to Buffalo Trace.
Yes.
You come out of the exit of Buffalo Trace, and instead of turning onto the main boulevard, you just go straight across the street, and it's right there. We have tried to go in there 2 subsequent times since then that we've been at Buffalo Trace and decided we didn't want to wait in the line. But we hit them at a time they weren't open. We were very bummed because we've tried to go back. We tried to go back and say thank you to buy other bottles, but it's not hit our schedule. When we've tried to go there, they weren't open. It's a great opportunity. There's no reason for you not to stop there after you leave Buffalo Trace. It wouldn't take you that long. Plan an experience. Make it a double, as I like to say.
Yeah. Or look, just look at Buffalo Trace and go, and go ahead and just go over to Mattingly because you can have a really good experience with really good people. You know, it's not going to be as big a tour or anything like that, but it's really nice and it's good juice.
I didn't share the price. So to do the experience and get a bottle is $175. Since we got 2 bottles, so it was $350. Another reason we don't just hit these bottles, because these are kind of keepsake bottles, things that we're going to pull out on special occasions and try them like this. But I still think it's very worthwhile. We got a really good bottle that we knew we liked because we created it. And we had a fantastic experience.
It was a fun memory, and it gives us hope possibly in the future for some distillery, Royce Neely, to maybe hire us. So in all seriousness, let's close this out. I want to thank everybody that worked at Mattingly. You were really professional that day. It was a great experience and a great memory, and 2 bottles that we will always treasure in our collection. Cheers to you. If you like what we do, hit the subscribe button. Always remember to drink responsibly. Today, if you've got it, try it. Drink some Mattingly. Cheers.
Cheers.